We help save tatas, and we made some golf clubs, and we're going to talk about all kinds of different stuff and scary stories because look at Bones. Yep. Next. Welcome back to the Golf Shop. And this is What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Why is it What's in My Drawers? Because it's about what's in my drawers in my shop. And why is that? Because old club makers and club fitters are tremendous pack rats, and I'm no different. Yeah, if you would like, subscribe, hit that stuff across the bell or bottom because that way this information gets out to the YouTube universe. We're also going to talk about golf club repairs, fittings, and reviews as part of this, so don't be afraid to ask a question. All righty, so what do I mean by save tatas? So there was a golf tournament that was put on by the local golf course, and it was for breast cancer awareness. And I had to go look up some stats, and it says that 1 out of every 8 women are going to be diagnosed with it. And the good part about this is that if it's caught early, it's a 99% chance or success rate of beating it. So get tested early, get tested often, I guess would be the way to go about it. There are hundreds upon hundreds of more statistics. However, those are the big ones. So, and that's what we did. So, of course, we've been bitching and complaining about the weather this whole entire time. And the first day we go out there, and I'm thinking, man, this is going to be a nice day. And what's it look like? Looks like that. Me and Bob, we're sitting in there with long sleeve shirts, vests, sock hats, the whole 9 yards. We got there, we pulled into the parking lot. It was 39 degrees. This was Charlie and Matt weather. All right. And now I will say this, there was no wind and it was overcast. And so it really didn't come off as bad. This is one of the first 30-degree days. So Jim's opinion is that the earth was still warm, and so it wasn't brutally cold just yet. But the no wind thing really helped. And it got up into right at 50 degrees, 52 degrees right there. So we started stripping some stuff off. And there was us getting ready to do a putting contest that the girls were doing it. That's the wife and Miss Penny. And you were trying to win money for it, but it just wasn't working out. And there was some more people trying to win monies that were out there. I do want to bring to attention though that this is that course we were talking about earlier on in the year that literally killed its entire grass complex in order to get new grass in there. And I'm going to say bent grass, but I'm not sure if that's right or not. Anyway, first time I've seen it in a long time, and man, oh man, when you talk about a difference looking. So tee boxes look so much better and level. It was crazy. This is 18 going across the tee or across the water. This is number 2, and this is just a par 5 straight away. But look how nice and even that is. Yes, it's turning a little brown, but that's because of cooler temperatures. This is a par 3. I don't think that they did so much here as they did it as much needed on the tee box. There's 18 again. And here is another one. This was on the back 9. And you get to see it where there's the fairway out in the distance. But the changing of the leaves, I mean, it's a really nice day for it, even though it's a little overcast. And here we go. Popping up. This one was on number 4 or 5. Just a big old green complex surrounded by some, 4. This was this is where we were chipping from off of our drive and still made bogey or still made par. He had these things located in some really unique areas, make life a little bit more difficult. So the big guns couldn't just overwhelmingly score on us all. And so that's what that was at. Just to say that the JC's course in Chillicothe was in really, really good shape from tee to green. Once you get off of and it's obvious the change in the grass complexes in that we had the bent grass stuff and then you got into the normal stuff. In order to take this thing to the next level, and this is a huge, huge improvement. I did notice that the ball ran a lot further than before. but the really one of the big things was the fact that the greens or the tee boxes were just nice and flat, nice, easy to, it reminded me of going to a resort course, honestly. But now the grass that you don't want to play in, that second cut, probably need to tend that a little bit better, so it gives it that nicer look, and then start charging a little bit more. All righty. So today we had a pickup. Now, if you guys watched the video last week, and we'll talk about why there's not one this week, or at least not so far. So we talked about the installation of these the LA golf shafts that went into and we were talking about, actually it was about taking them out and reaming the heads was the actual first one. Well, I had done a second one that talked about installing them and how you would cut them and how you install them and the whole 9 yards, because it had a special ferrule. The gentleman that picked them up was from the Buffton College, and anyway, I went to go drag that information off of my hard drive, and my external hard drive gave up the ghost. That has 2 years worth of videos, pictures of all my golf stuff, all my bourbon stuff, and everything in between. So that was nothing short of devastating as far as history would go. And so we sent it off. Robin sent it off today to go to an approved Western Digital, and we'll see how much it's going to cost me to see if they can even restore it. It would be great if they did, because I'll just turn around and just take it clean off of there, and that thing will never see the light of day. However, that's what this was, and the gentleman came to pick them up today. Hopefully he likes them. They're quite stiff. Another one, and a unique one that we did, and this is the third set of these that I've made for this golfer, is hybrid irons all the way down. Hybrid irons all the way down. As you see, there's a 2, a 3, there's a 5, there's a 4 in there somewhere, and there is a lot of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, pitch, and gap. And that's exactly what's in this, all the way down to the gap wedge. And it looks like a toaster strudel square on a stick. And that's exactly, and I mean, they're neat looking. They're very clean. I will give them that. It's just and then there's the shafts and the grips that we put in them. The Super Strokes full swing clubs, and then the Acra the I-Series 6s. He's had some really good success with those, so that's what we stayed with. And when you look at these things, they're really flat, and because they're a little bit longer. But when you get down to the lower irons, there's so much face looking at you, because literally it's a square like this, and then with a face cut out of it. Something else. He likes him. He hits him well. So away we go. All right. A couple other things. When you go to these golf tournaments, you always come away with a goodie bag of some variety. And typically for us, it's a sleeve of balls that you may or may not ever use, and some small trinkety kind of things. So I thought this was kind of, I would show you what we got. So that I'm not showing you, we got 2 pieces of those little trick-or-treat candies and a bag of Cheetos, which I think is still in the car. Anyway, we got a Rumpke. There you go, Rumpke. It's a stress thing. Now, if you ever watch some trash guys come through here, and ours come out very, very early, and they do us a good job, I can understand why they would need this. But they're strong as mules, because they're always jumping off. In fact, we're down to the driver actually does the loading, I think. Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool that they put those in there. Another one is I got a look at that, sleeve of golf balls that I'm probably never going to use. A Speed Soft TaylorMade. The says New Nouvelle or Nouveau. I'm going to say this is the TaylorMade American French golf ball that's made in Taiwan. It says new power core, easy compression, and controlled flight. Doesn't say anything about it. I'm going to assume that this is probably their low compression golf ball to compete with the other ones. All right. And last but not least, and I haven't opened this one yet, is this case. Robin told me what it was, but we're going to find out. And what it is, oh, cool. It's an assembled putter. An assembled putter. The putter is up in here. Oh, nope, right here. There's the putter head, couple golf balls, a putting cup, and I'm not sure why there's a handle in the middle. In case you wanted to carry it opened up, I suppose. And then it gets pulled together. So let's see what we can do here. So the first piece is the grip, and it's a wrapped grip. And somebody was having a bad day at the very end, but it's round. All right. Then we get the second piece. I like this mahogany color, though. I feel like I'm putting a pool cue together. And then we have that one. And then we have another one. So we got 3 pieces. That's a pretty decent length. I'm going to imagine probably about 35 inches in total. And then we will get this guy out. What's this do here? How do we get him out of there? Oh, it just slides right out. And your traditional, Anser. And it's got some pretty big threads on it. Let's see if I can make this work. There we go. And voila, I've got a putter. Putter from here and a putter from there. And it's not a bad look. It's a teeny weeny head, but for traveling, heck yeah. Heck yeah. And we got the mahogany colored putting cup. And I've got a couple of, I see how this works. Okay. I got a couple of golf balls that I don't know if they have a brand on them or not. Let's find out. This is from Nationwide. That's Nationwide's headquarters is in Columbus, which is about an hour north of me. And the golf balls are nameless. I would have thought that would have been a perfect time to put Nationwide on it. Okay. So now, as I've taken it all apart, the hard part is putting it all back together. So let's see how good I'm at with this. There goes the first piece. All right. That one went easier than I thought. Second piece. Now that I got the first piece in. There we go. It's 2 elastic straps holding it in. There we go. And the last one. Well, look at me go. We got that one in. Get it around all the sheathing. And voila. Bob's your uncle. Let's see if I can find now. I got to find the zipper for this thing. Oh, there it is. Look at that. And there we go. Travel putter. Woohoo! It's right-handed, but it's a travel putter nevertheless. So that's pretty nice. It's nice to get little trinkets as a thank you for putting a little bit in there. And I'm sure they were donated, and that was very, very nice of them. So thank you very much. If you have something in your life that's like that, please give or at least participate, and we'll go from there. All righty. The long thing I don't have a picture of. I'd like to show. I kept this one from the last one, but yesterday I did some chicken breast cancer, and I did some country western ribs, and with the idea I would have some lunch for the week. So there we go. Okay, so let's go back here. We talked about all that, all the things. I hear you. Okay, so Charlie, here we go. We're going to start off with this. If you guys, we're going to start off with this one. If you guys, again, I asked you, I didn't ask this time around, but I do have the other channel, Pars and Pours. If you would like, please go over there and subscribe. I did a review of this. This is the Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series 13. And it was surprisingly good. Okay. So we got through all that. Let's talk to the folks. Let's talk to the folks. I saw Krister's name wrapping through there. All right. Let's see. Okay. Mississippi Wop Genius 396. Okay. All right. Of those, of these over the hosel putter heads, which is the best quality? Wilson, Infinity, Windy City, Cleveland, or Golf Works Pure Track milled? Ugh. I like the Pure Track, but and I've seen all three of these. Mississippi. I've seen all three of them. That's one heck of a hard pick. I think my first pick, because these are all more like in Anzers. Actually, the Windy City is a milled putter, and it's got a black coating on it. The Cleveland HB Soft is another milled face putter, but that's about it. And then the Pure Track is a milled putter, but I don't know if the whole thing is or not. And I happen to know those guys up there, so I would probably go with Golf Works, then Infinity, then Cleveland. Although none of these are in the class that you're asking. You wouldn't do bad with any of them, but the Pure Track, the Wilson Infinity, then the Cleveland, I think would be the way to go. And it's like 1A, 1B, but that's how I would do it. It says, I'm going to build a 37-inch, 145-gram grip counterbalance putter. The Wilson may already be counterbalanced. Well, if you typically find putters that are in that 37, golly, here we go again. That 37 to, we'll call it 38, typically they will be counterbalanced, and they're normally counterbalanced with a very large grip, okay? I doubt that they are counterbalanced as a whole. If you were to buy them, say, a 35-inch putter, no, none of them are, as a matter of fact. And I can tell you that the fact that GolfWorks only sells the head, although you can build it that way, and the other two, no. Now, again, you get in the 38-inch range, then there's a real possibility of that occurring. And then I'm 3 other putters with counterbalance setups, 2 TaylorMades, different lengths, and a Pro Platinum. Well, I like counterbalance. Counterbalance, we've been putting weight in the back of putters since the 90s. Okay, and the success rate for doing that is 98. 98% every time you can do it, but you have to find the right weight in order for that to happen. You can go too heavy, and you can also be too light. So you got to be very, very cautious of that. Man, you got to be very cautious of how much you put in. More is not better in this particular instance. Okay, just like it being too heavy or too light, and you can waver it, being too heavy can account for the same stuff. So you want to be slightly prepared for that. The sweet spot for me that I found was about between 50 and 75 grams. Because that we had, the way I tested them, I had Balance Certifieds, and they had so they had different ones to test, and those two were the most popular. All right. Let's see. He said that too. Well, let us know what you end up with, because I'd like to see, and if you got it, send us a picture and we'll put it up here. There's Charlie. What do you say, sir? I did, like I told you, like I said earlier, we did some Charlie and Matt golf, and it was in the 30s. There you go. This is for you, brother. Salute. Okay. Where's Matt tonight? I don't know. Typically, we'd be seeing him if he was doing soccer. But he is a teacher. Maybe it's parent-teacher night. There's Robin saying hello. Lawrence. Hey, bud. In early. Very well done. Very cool. There's Robin saying hi to Charlie. Larry back. All right, hi, Robin. We got Steven from Tennessee. I tell you what, only when I get in front of you guys does that ever occur. Feels like I got a spider web on my nose. All righty. There's Steven. What do you say, bud? From Tennessee. All right, talking back. There's or at Pinion Golf. I like that. That is just a really neat logo. I do like that. That's a good, clean logo. Well done. It was cold. Yes, it was. Hello, hello, hello. Had to wait till 8 a.m. to tee off yesterday. It gotten down to 37 overnight with a frost delay. We had some of that. Ours didn't start till we're supposed to be there at 9:30, taking off at 10, so we avoided a lot of the frost. And I think that was on purpose. But it was still nice. Oh, there it is, Bermuda. That not bent, but Bermuda. Good news about all breast cancer. AI is the capability to diagnose breast cancer away from its normal treatment today, which is good for women so they can be treated right away. Well, that's neat to know. Like an AI being useful for us. That's cool. Nicely done. Hello from Myrtle Beach. He got his weekend 76 and 75. You go, boy. I know you're going to be amazed at this one, Peter, but I was at this scramble and my driver decided to wake up. And man, oh man, I was throwing it out there with him. It was fun. And I had one of the guys that I play with every once in a while. That Bob, I was hitting it outside of him, and I had him grunting trying to get out there with us. So I was hitting it pretty good. Threw it out there. Whole different setup. Whole different setup. It was as far as hitting goes, and it felt good to be able to hit the driver again. To the point on the very last hole, I got so confident I broke out my other driver and I hit it. I just hit this dead pole, but I did hit it, which was better than before. So that was pretty good. As far as scores go, the me and Bob team and two other fellas, Nick and we call him the concierge. We ended up 5 or 6 under, probably 5 because we ended up getting a bogey. We for some reason just couldn't make a putt on this one hole. We did have an eagle, and we had several of those birdies, but certainly it wasn't going to be enough to win it with some of the hot rods that were out there. They were nice rounds. Greetings, everyone. Robin, Jim, fellow golfers from Myrtle Beach. Missed last week because I worked a 12-and-a-half-hour day prepping for the ryegrass overseeding. Woohoo! Little OT for John, buddy. A little over T for John. Let's give him a hand. A little OT for John. All right. Oh, I guess the question is this coming up. We'll talk about it when we get back. What's everybody doing for Halloween? Do you guys give out candy? Do you do nothing? What are you going to do? Good golly, my nose. What are you guys going to do for the Halloween? Towards the end, I'll tell you what we're doing. 37 on the front, 44 in the back. That's that walking thing right there, Charlie. That's the walking thing. That's pretty good. Yep. Let's see. Oh, we got 2 new ones here. Robinson. Oh yeah. Lioness. There we go. What's that say? Oh, he's an airborne ranger. Okay, well done. Congrats. Thanks for your service. All right. It says, hi, all. Well, it's officially over in Calgary. The last of the courses closed on Sunday, but it was a little longer run than it normally is. So thanks to Mother Nature. Well, good deal. Man, I swear. I want to find out what's doing this, and I'm going to just get rid of it. Well, good. you got anything else you want to ask, be more in there. So we got that. I'd like to say one more thing as far as stuff we were doing, and I know you guys saw me last year at this time. It was 1 year for my dad passing, so we're getting through that one. So we're looking at it from a funny perspective, not necessarily sad, but it is a 1 year anniversary, so we'll give him one more. So, Dad, there you go. Okay. Michael's back. Look at here. Michael Moody. Hi, Jim Rama. Great to see you. Whatever your advice, I always play steel shaft and irons. I was thinking of putting graphite, but I don't want to lose precision. I use the Nippon 950 stiff and want less vibration. Well, so you'll be how I say it? I'm gonna get rid of this. Hold on a minute. I just can't stand it. I don't know what it is. It must be the static cling on this damn mic or something. Okay. So, Mike, the Nippon 950, even in the stiff, the profile for this thing is it's very butt soft. Okay, so it's very butt soft, but the tip and the midsection are firmer. So, as far as precision, don't think just because you're going to graphite that you're going to lose. It's going to be this waggly, not just whippy kind of stuff. To the point, you can get some 95-gram shafts that are going to play way stiffer than that guy right there. Okay, way stiffer. All right, to the point. Hold on. I'm thinking about it right here. I'm going to pull some out for you. Not this 105. Got that one. We got that one. And we got this one. Okay. Okay, so I wanted to, since we're talking about graphite shafts, I wanted to go through some. So this one was one of my favorites. This is the TZ from Acra. Okay, TC from Acra. This is a 95-gram shaft, which is very close to the Nippon 95-gram. However, it is a 100% different profile. Okay. It would be much more stiff in comparison. So if you're talking about precision, as far as numbers go, it would be significantly more stiff. To the point you probably wouldn't like it. Now this one is KBS's 95-gram. It's the TGI. TGI stands for Tour Graphite Iron. And that Tour Graphite Iron is very much in the same vein as the Acra. Now, the Tour Graphite Irons were designed and had the same exact profile as the KBS Tour models, just 95 grams. So think about that for a minute. So those that like that KBS Tour, which normally comes in a 120-gram shaft, they stiffen this profile up in order to make that happen. That's saying something, and a lot of people didn't like it. So incoming, Kim Braley decided to soften it up a little bit, and he came up with the PGI 90. Now this one, if you like the Nippon and you're doing very well with the Nippon, this guy is definitely something to consider. All right, something to consider. Now another one that will play, I won't say similar, but will play nice, that it gives you that feeling for the vibe where you still have control, right? And there is another one. Yep. The I series comes in a 95-gram shaft, and that also could be considered as well. So things to consider. So 95 in the I series, or a KBS PGI, which is Player's Graphite Iron. So hopefully that helped you out. There's Michael. He hasn't been here for a while. I'm glad to see him come back. Okay. Charlie did have one good hole in the back nine, 9-iron approach shot, hit it a shade heavy and ended up about 8 inches from the hole. Got away with one. Hey, buddy, it's better to be lucky than good, right? I will take that. There was one that same thing happened to me while I was up there, and I said, "Oh man, I didn't hit that one. Just felt like you just didn't get it. It hit the edge of the green, rolled up, and we were in tap-in range." So yeah, we'll take those any way we can get it. Okay, Peter, back up, my friend. I know, right? That's the Peter's talking about is my hard drive. And you know what, Peter? I don't know. I can go back at least 7 years now, and I have had an external hard drive, and none of them have yet to fail. This is the first one because I leave it here when I go traveling. I take a whole nother hard drive, I put it in a case to protect it and the whole 9 yards. But I think now, and that was in the day where they had the SATA drives, which is just like a regular hard drive with the disk that spin and the whole 9 yards. Now they have the SSD drives, which are like your thumb drives, of which I've got one down here. Yep. Thumb drives that look a lot like that. And this thing's got 125 gig on it, but and go to those things are almost indestructible. So that very well may be where we go next one. I've got one. I ordered one to bring it in so I could coalesce the information that I had on my phone and other hard drives, so I had something to work from. But totally lost every drop of all my golfing videos and my golfing pictures, all the things that we ever did, vacations from 2024, at the end of 2023, early all of 24, and this might as well say the whole year of 2025 now. So we've got some work to do, and that was the whole thing. Even we did the KBT, the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, and we lost it all. So I told Robin that in order to regain those memories, we're going to have to start that whole trail thing over again. And all I saw was this, and so we'll have to figure that one out. So again, what are you guys doing for Halloween? Let's hear about some of that. There's Golf Addict. What do you say, buddy? Hope all is well. It is. I do. It's doing very well. The temperature was a balmy 67 today. I think it was perfect. We've been going out, and the temperature's been in the very high 30s, and by lunchtime, perfect weather. Sun's out. I don't know how everybody didn't play with that. All righty. Leonez says last round front was 36. Wow, that's tearing it up. And then a great 41 on the back. My putter decided to act up a bit. Well, good for you, dude. Where are you playing your golf at? Let's see that. You got a heck of a lot of patches happening. That's pretty cool. James Geiger, what do we say, buddy? Oh, we're going to say thanks to Pinion Golf for the suggestions of the Lambkin and the Microlight. Yes. Found them at Golf Shafts America at $6 a piece. An excellent light rubber grip, similar to the 25. Well, there we go. So the community did pay off for doing all this. Well done, Pinion. That's very cool. Charlie wants to know, Michael, have you tried putting the shaft dampers down the shafts? That's one way of going for it. That would definitely reduce the vibration, and you should be able to get them up there. I believe GolfWorks Canada still is up there, right? You can get them from them, and they really are easy to install. There's Robin talking to the Golf Addict. Actually, you could have downloaded all of your pics without sending it off. The hard drive has a connector that you can use to connect to another drive that will treat it like a USB drive. Well, that's what mine is. That's what mine is. If you can see this one, basically one of these, and you see how it's connected. That's how I use it. I literally use it in that same fashion, unless you're saying something else. techno stuff, on the surface, I can keep up with most folks, but once you get to that next step, I'm lost. And I've got two kids that do it, that are graphic folks, and they don't even want to know about it. So no, not yet. Well, that's one way, and it's a cheaper. It's very less expensive to try and put that down there, particularly if you really like the Nippons. If you really like the Nippon, then do that. Now, I have not. I will say this: I know Nippon makes a graphite shaft in an iron. I know little to nothing about it. Supposedly, it's something in line with the way that they work their profiles, but I am not sure. Oh, Peter says, thanks for answering the question between the 75 and 95. So what Peter asked was, because I've seen Peter, we've played with Peter several times, and he asked about whether or not, he's got 75 gram in the shaft, and somebody told him to go 95. I'm not sure why somebody would tell him to go to 95. He does have a slightly light release, but it becomes weight versus uh, how do I say, flex, maybe. The Peter gets the ball up in the air quite a bit, and I would imagine but the way that he sets up, it's made to do that. So regardless of 75 or 95, he would still he would still air it out, because he does hit a pretty high ball. Now, 95 gram in his particular club that he's got would become completely stiff. And you don't get a 95 and make it an R. It just doesn't happen. It's just a stiffer profile, and that's because you added more stuff, right? But he is not aggressive swinging. He's very smooth swinging, as I've told him before. I take it back like a purpose and finish like Peter on the end. And that's what we did. And because of the fact that he doesn't jerk down on it real hard, the 75 and an R plus would be more than adequate. And the second thing is, you want to consider if you're spraying the ball. Meaning, again, we have Army golf, right, left, right, left, and some down the center. If that was happening quite a bit, then yeah, it's time to beef it up maybe just a little bit and go from there. But until then, no. All right, there's Robin talking to Stephen. Peter, 20 grams. Yep. But the difference, that 20 grams is amazing. I hope that was easy. Hi, Robin. I don't know why it picked up Leonis. That's John Lamb. I don't know why it grabbed an email of mine. I was wondering about that. Hey, we'll see another valve or something like that on there. It does look like a pool cue. It puts together just like a pool cue, except for it's the very end of the pool cue, and it's pretty neat. I mean, for what it is, it's a nicely decorated and finished. It gives it that mahogany flavor. I sincerely doubt it is mahogany, because that would be quite expensive. That wood is very very pricey because it's so nice. But that's a neat little gesture. I think that's pretty neat. Ah, there's Krister, starting an hour early in Sweden because of wintertime. Is that the reason why we missed you yesterday or last week? Because we started an hour early? Your other buddy from Sweden was in, but he didn't have anybody to talk to. So, have you scheduled your fitting? Or are you into your indoor league yet? Is it time for that, or they give you guys a break? There's Lawrence again. How you doing, buddy? And hello from Sweden. There he is. Yeah, it was a nice gift bag, Peter. I think it was just, I think it was fine. For what it is, it was fine. I didn't even know I was getting it until the pro handed it to me. I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." They did have a raffle, and I got to tell you, there was a raffle where you buy so many tickets for so many dollars, and you just put your ticket in and there was easily 50 items. People were donating stuff, and it wasn't junk either. They had a Yeti cooler that big, a golf bag or two. They had some really expensive candles for the ladies that were there. They had some wine baskets. They had a bourbon basket that I literally put all my stuff into and did not get it. They had a couple of singles that were in there. Um, it was just quality, some real quality items that were being given out, and it was all what they were doing is they were the guy who's putting on is the superintendent of the course, and he lost his mom and his sister, and I'm not sure, there was one more. I don't know if it's another sister, but they all had breast cancer. So he's very invested into it, and it was its fifth year, so it's a pretty good little setup. Charlie thought so too. Okay. Hello, Krister. I've saved your demo session to watch later. Any good come out of it? Oh, I didn't see that he did one. Robin, no problem. I work in IT, and I have unfortunately to have had done that a time or two. Oh no. Yeah, I was trying to. The thing about that, Stephen, is I go looking for it, and you go looking for restore my hard drive, and you get on there and you have no idea who you're going to get, how much it's going to cost, and the very first site I came to was one out of Cincinnati. It was called We Restore IT, or We Restore Discs, maybe, or something along that lines. And of course, now you want to go check them out, and the way AI works, it goes right to that place and it shows all the people that commented on them. Of course, it's all going to be good because they're not going to post anything bad. But then you go to other places, Reddit or places that do it, and you start hearing some of these horror stories. And I'm like, yeah. And so I went to Western Digital, and they had their preferred vendors, and that's what I started with. And the guy responded to me really, really quick, gave me a shipping form, and off we go. We'll see how much this is going to break me down. Yep, we did miss you last week. We were wondering where you were. Charlie, nice. Yes, something good came out of it. It's uncut video with Swedish language. Well, at least we'll see. We can still read the numbers. I had to work late and was out on after with work and friends, drinking that awesome beer that we see pictures of. Good for you. Or at least I will keep the driver head. Very cool. The GT4 8 degree. Okay. D1 setting. So what are we putting in it? What are we putting in it? What's the shaft, man? Oh, my goodness. All right. Oh, John needs some advice. I have a good bud who wants to counterbalance his irons. What might be the best way to approach this conundrum? How much? Therein lies the problem. How much does he want to counterbalance? And why? Why does he want to counterbalance? That would be the second reason. That would tell us a lot. The most easiest way to go about it, John, is they have, and the absolute cleanest way of doing this is getting on GolfWorks and getting an item called Tour Lock. Okay, Tour Lock, and it's a little piece of metal insert that you go in there and you twist off the back, and it wedges itself in there like a drain plug, literally. Okay, and they come in various weights. Now, when you're talking about irons, those 90 and 80 grams do not work. All right, it's just too much weight. All right, now if he's a long drive guy and he's 6'8" and he swings 140 mile an hour, then yeah, maybe. Okay, but if he's like you and I or a normal golfer guy, then that's a different issue. And normally about 10 to 20 grams, that's literally all you need. All right, that's literally all you need. Now, you will see things like counterbalance shafts and all this other stuff, and they truly are counterbalanced, but it's still in a 60-gram shaft or 70-gram shaft or whatever it might be. And what they've done is they move the balance point towards the grip maybe an inch. And what that's done is, in the same setup, gives it just a slightly grip heavy feel. It's not this gross amount by any shape of the imagination. 2 swing weights, maybe. All right. But if you put like a 10 grammer in the back of a club, that's about 2 to 2.5. So if he's looking for something like that, that would be the cleanest, easiest way to go. And you put some new grips on it and you got a better feeling grip. 400 yards yet? We're going to work on it. Let's see. No, working on it. Maybe I need less loft. Interesting things came out of the fitting when I swing slow. 105, the ball flight goes up, and when I go flat out, my miss is left. Okay. And you know why, right? Because when you're trying to slow down, you're staying behind the ball and your shaft is leaning forward, right? Because it hasn't uncocked, so it's going to add the loft to that. And typically, and I've seen your swing, when you go flat out, I would bet real money that your lower body gets a little quiet and you hit a pole. Lawrence, there we go. I'm in search of an Apex Pro 21 3-iron. Could another club in the set be bent to 3-iron degree? Maybe that's what will be easier. Okay, I'm sure you already know this, but the first place to go is Callaway Pre-Owned. All right, go to Callaway Pre-Owned. They very well may have a single in that, okay, for somebody who is wanting to get rid of a 3-iron or something along that lines. The other one is they don't make a 2, so your closest bet's going to be a 4, and of course you're going to have to bend it strong, which also means that the bounce is going to be a little less. But when you're talking the 4-iron, is it a big deal? The answer is no. It's really not. You could do something along that lines. You could go from there, or you go out and you just if you're really are serious about the 3-iron, you want it. You very well may call Callaway direct in their customer service and see if they can build you one. All right, I was trying to swing normal speed right now. I need a shaft that works for both slow and faster. Denali Blue was the best fit. That is a good shaft. I got him sitting right up there. That's a great shaft. That's much more. It's funny. It's a little more stout than the black. It's really but it's a good shaft, man. Good pick. That would make sense. Slower right, not easy. Face close, faster left. Closing too much. Yep. Had great success with that shaft at normal speed. Well, normal speed is what you want. You like the gear. Jim is the machinist made in you. No dear. Oh, the gear on that. Yeah, it is true. That's probably one of the reasons why. No doubt in my mind. I'd rather have a right miss than a left miss. Wow. Okay. A lot of them turn to the right for you guys, or yeah, a lot of them turn to the right for you, or something along that line. All right, that's cool. Charles Bartholomew, we had to wait an hour and a half for frost delay on Sunday, so I feel your pain. Yeah, It's coming, fellas. It's in fact, it's beyond coming. It's here. And with you saw that that hurricane is out there hitting Jamaica right now, and it's a level 5, and it's going to run up the East Coast. So we'll see what kind of storms you guys get. Yeah, that just backs his day out, backs his day up right there. Well, thanks. What are your thoughts on having two drivers in the bag, one for safe shots with less club head speed and one flat out swing speed? That's a thing. You have to be very, very cautious on what you have to sacrifice in order to have that other driver. Now, what I would think, Krister, is not necessarily the same kind of driver toned down, but you might want to, now that they've been around long enough, consider a mini driver. Get you a mini driver set up to be able to take your shot, because as it's shorter, your control would be better, and that would be your safe shot. Okay, that would be your safe shot, and the difference in distance is only going to be, if you were to nuke it and you hit them both perfect, the distance may only be about between 5 and 10 yards. And as far as you're throwing it out there, that shouldn't be a big deal. In fact, we watched you doing that. If you're watching the YouTube stuff, that's what Peter Finch is doing. He's carrying a mini driver, and when he gets in trouble, that's what comes out. And it's never put him in a bad spot as far as, I can only hit at 250 and hit everything else 300. No, it's like, well, I'm 275 with this one, and I'm 285, 290 with the other one. All righty. Golf Addict, golf started here in the beginning of April, ended October. I got 162 rounds. Woo! Wow, that is awesome. And miss it already. Can't wait till next season. Might even go to 11 hybrid irons. Handicap is 9. Well, you just saw. Did you see what I just showed you? Let me show you here. See if I can pull it back up. 11 hybrided irons. Right there. Thomas Golf is making those things, and you can buy just the heads, but you can get all the way up into the 2 in those things, bud. All the way up into 2. That would be cool. All right, let's find you. Here we go. Peter gives out candy. I have my friends jump out of the bushes and scare the kids. Very cool. Golf Addict, 162 rounds is phenomenal. That is true. So here's one for you, Peter. What we did one year, my dad and I, this is a dad story. We were at a family reunion that was very close to that time frame. And my dad and another uncle of mine were the greatest storytellers on the planet. They could convince little kids of everything. Their biggest accomplishment is they convinced everybody that they started McDonald's and they lost the franchise to Ray Kroc in a card game. All right. But we were at these A-frames, and the kids were wondering what was in the basement of the A-frames because they were locked. And so all day he was telling them that there were dead Indians in there from the burial ground that they had to build these houses over top of. And every day and he looked down at his watch, it was like 10:10 or some crazy number. At that time frame, they would jump out, and if anybody's there, they try to take them back into the basement. And no. This went on from lunch. They come back and try and argue the point. No. And then they come back, and at dinner time, no. And here it comes. And it was about 9:30, 9:45. Well, we're going to stay up and we're going to go look at it. Okay. Well, right about 10 o'clock, I went around to the bushes that were to the side of that, and he kept urging them on, getting them to stay, and he was keeping all their attention, so they never really noticed me. And he started counting it down. He says, "You sure you want to be there? Because, once you're gone, you're gone. Your parents can't come get you." "No, we're tough. We'll be able to make it." I said, "Oh, they're all right." And so he started counting down. It was 10:09. and it got down to 3, 2, and 1. And just as soon as they started to turn around to tell them that was full of crap, I jumped out of the bushes and scared the living crap out of every last one of them. They went running for the hills, grabbed mom, grabbed dad. It was hilarious. And to this day, I still get that story from them when we get together. 162 rounds, dude. I couldn't put together 162 rounds in the last 6 years. That's awesome. There you go. John gives out candy, and now it's quarters for the March of Dimes. Big Kinder eggs for the little ones next door. Wife carves up a couple of pumpkins, decorates the front door. We have a blast. Nice. That's very cool. We were, if you've seen those, like go to the local Lowe's or something like that, or even Menards, they have those animated decorations. Those things are starting to get pretty doggone cool. We live on this one lane road, and there's literally 4 houses on it. So we are strategically not a good place for trick-or-treaters to come. And we're also a mile north of town. So in 20 years, we've had 0 trick-or-treaters. We don't mostly do anything. But this weekend, Buffalo Trace has got a Halloween tour that they're doing at night. So we're going down Friday. And we've got a 1950, so 7 o'clock, 10 to 8, we'll call it 10 to 8, scheduled tour, and that's going to be, and then we're going to either get a bite before or a bite after, and then that's our Halloween. And Robin's already got us some glow-in-the-dark necklaces since it's outdoors and it's dark, and the glow-in-the-dark eyeballs and all kinds of stuff. So we're going for it. Many pros are using the Axiom 105, 125 which is a great option or opinion too, or an option too. Yeah. So the Axiom is pretty tough. The 105 is probably for the guys that are a little smoother, and then the 125 are for the dudes that are really strong with that super duper late release. But yeah, the Axiom's a great shaft. Have you seen the new 11-7 Fairway Club? No, I have not. I don't get to see much of what we would call boutique iron type stuffs, Krister. Trying to say, I do see them every once in a while. They'll probably pop up at the PGA show this year, and we'll see. The PGA show, did you see lately? The PXG said that they were going to be there. Apparently, he has decided he said once he was the Ferrari of all the American-made cars in golf. So apparently, Ferrari is going to now be part of the PGA show. What don't you have, Krister? I know. Well, he does pretty good. He trades his stuff in, Ken. And there's Ken. We've got them all here except for Matt. There we go. We missed you. Look at that. First right out. I want one. But it's a one-trick pony club, I would say. I'm still with the mini driver. May not be the Titleist mini driver for you, but I would say the mini driver, particularly if you get one that's, with that a comparable shaft. There's nothing saying you couldn't get another Denali blue and put it in there. Clocks went back and I'm awake now. All right. Well, it's not going to happen for very long because I think we run into daylight savings time as well. Let's ask Siri. Hey Siri, when's daylight savings time? Sunday, November 2nd. All right. So the next one, no, we might go back to normal time on the next one. So we got at least one in. Missed your ass. Welcome back. There we go. Charlie, we're back on GMT, so I'm awake. There you go. All right. Try to make that go away. Thanks for the reminder, Ken. Our clocks go back this coming Sunday. That's true. Thumb drives have storage of over 1 terabyte now. Yeah, I know. And they're quite pricey. But yeah, I'm going to actually, they have these now in that, and they go up as high as 2 or 3 because I can go because of what I do with the videos. The 4K stuff really eats up a lot of space, and you can only tone it down. Going up doesn't really work. So I can go through one of those. I can probably put a terabyte on in a year, maybe more, because of it. But hey, it is what it is. Probably be the smart thing to do. Just cough up the money for a storage disk for each year and be done with it. There we go. That'd be a shame redoing the Whiskey Trail, Jim. I'm sure you won't lose all that data yourself. Well, I'm sure that was the thought when I told her, Ken. Is like, okay, yeah, sure, you can't see that stuff. Yeah. However, unintentionally, that is a lot of work to go down there, and a lot of tours and a lot of bottles. Although we should be able to go through there and do just tastings instead of tours, instead of going through the whole tour. Or if they had specialty ones, we could probably do that as well. No. Yes. You are? Okay, get too cold? Got tired, okay. So that's what we're doing. The answer was no. You see that? Nah. But the thing is, on Friday we're seeing 3 others, so it might be the start. We might get almost 10% out of the way on the first day. Last Sunday in October for us, Charlie. Yeah. That's why he lost the data so he can redo the trail. Well, no. We no more than got rid of it, Charlie. Remember we completed it and they added 12 more. So instead of 48, they're in the upper 50s now, or mid 50s. Answer still no. Hey, I want to get in there and put my 2 cents worth in. Yeah, I'm sure it was a con, so Jim gets a do-over. Well, each year there's a little different product coming out, so we have to check that out. Lots of patches because it's an association. Oh, okay. Different Ranger cores? Okay. You say that, Robin, but you'll give in anyway. I'm kind of hoping that's where we're going with that one. John Timmons, good afternoon, Jim and Robin from sunny Phoenix, enjoying an Old Forester. Cool. Old Forester, can't go wrong with that one, particularly the Prohibition series, or even, I'd like one day to get a birthday bourbon or a presidential's choice. That would be nice one day. One day. And Rob says, hey, if you haven't done it already, hit that like button and hit that thumbs up, please. Look at that. She's already said yes. Look, you saw it right here. Yes. Hi, John. Only 12 thumbs up, Robin. We know. So, all right. There's our other Sweden buddy, Rasmus Olsen. Rasmus Olsen. There we go. We got a full house, and now here we are missing Matt. Krister's already checking out new shafts. Oh yeah, for sure. He said he liked the Denali Blue. That is a really great shaft for a stronger golfer that's not super aggressive. I mean, it's not like a hazardous like he's used to. It's just a hair less of that, but not by a lot, just a little bit. So if he's wanting to calm his swing down, that's it. Perfect weather for golf today here in Sweden, 49 and wind and 14. Oh, blowing like hell. That's a 3-club win right there. Yeah. Here I've tested the new Tour Edge CB and MB irons. Those guys are surprisingly good, Krister. The Tour Edge stuff is really good. Yeah. It is surprisingly good. They have a DG Mid 115. I like the DG Mids. I'm not a DG fan, but the DG Mids are great. And 130 in the CB. I love the shaft. The irons are great too. I would think that the 100s are great. I play I got 90s in mine, the DG Mid 90s, and they work great. But if you're going to jump on them, I would stay in the 115s and use them all the way up. You know, that 15 grams, it could come in handy at the tall end. Rasmus is asking you changing. You better believe it. See, that's a whole different. So the Tour Lights and Extra Stiff and Hard Step, that's a whole different line than this S Flex. And if you're liking the S Flex, or if you're liking the X's, you might actually consider the X in that particular shaft. Unless it was throwing darts for you, then hey, what do I know? James Geiger said he played this weekend at Amsterdam Muni in upstate New York. 38 degrees Saturday, 8:15 tee time. And Sunday, 1 hour frost delay, same temp. Course closes this Sunday for a year. So you guys are getting some of the same of that Canadian stuff. DGs play too harsh for me, Krister. Much prefer the Modus. The actual DGs, I'd agree with you, Kent. The actual DGs, I'm not a fan either. But these DG mids, the DG mids are much softer, and they have a feel that is all their own. They really do work well. Yeah, with that one, yeah, that he hard stepped his. Those are the KBS Tour Lights, so he was getting after it for sure. Oh, okay, yeah. So he's still got that one. We've been pulling tickets to see when those disappear. Tacomos, yeah, he was had those. He liked them both, but I think he settled on the one swings. Any feedback on Tacoma irons? They claim to do a fitting via email or phone conversation. Well, anybody that says they're doing a fitting via email or phone conversation is just and truly saying they're doing a fitting, that's no. I'll just say it right now. Now, there are some people that can make a very, we'll call it educated guess. I've done some of those over the phone as well, but I start the conversation off with, I've not seen you swing. I don't know anything about you. I'm going to ask you some pointed questions and you answer. And even when you do answer these things, the definition of what I think might be aggressive for me will be different than it's aggressive for you. So we will get into a certain wheelhouse of what's to occur, but to be totally precise and like what you would see in a normal fitting, no. As long as they're good with that, then I'm okay. And the Tacoma guys, I mean, they should be pretty decent. They've got those guys that were on tour. And again, just because you're on tour doesn't mean you know anything about golf clubs. But these guys very well may. Okay. And I've heard good things. Being left-handed, their options were limited when I first saw them. I hear that they've added some, and I've a lot of good feedback on that. They're pretty decent. Side saddle putting and heads up putting. Hey, heads up putting, I don't know about that one. That one's a bit of a heads up putting is different than side saddle in that you're heads up and you're looking at who was doing that. They head down. I think that was Jordan Spieth for a while. When he got really, really close, he'd just look at the hole and he just put it in. And way back he would putt normally. I don't know. I don't know if there's much to say about that one. However, side saddle putting can be very, 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 very accurate. It'll take some serious practice, and you have to have a putter that's designed to do it. You're not going to go get yourself a regular putter and just all of a sudden start side saddle putting, because there's, again, just like regular putting, there's different methods of doing it. You can stand very tall and have it over here and putt this way. You can be bent over and have it out in front of you and putt in a different way. And all those, depending on how you stand, will directly affect your lie angle. And your lie angle is really important here because that's your aim. Okay. And then how do you hold on to it? Do you hold on to it out here? And are you grabbing and pushing? Are you holding it like that? And it just takes a little bit of practice, really, is what it does. It takes a little practice. And but you can be the thing with side saddle putting is you can be very, very, very accurate from distance, and they can do that. If you go back in history, some of the best putters were side saddlers. I hit Tacoma irons, but the one swing CB is more towards the 301. Yes, you'd be correct. When I go flat out, I get stuck on my right side. Well, there you go. Swing at 61 degrees. Elias 61, yes. Trouble is Krister's normal driver swing is 115. He said normal between 105 and 110. I'm thinking that's different. But if he hangs it around that 110 range, you're still talking a 250, another 25. It's 275 carry on the minimum. So, and then it just goes out from there. I'm trying to figure out how and he must release a little bit early because of if he's keeps going lower and lower and lower. Langle 7 is 62.5 for the one swing, so a little bit of upright, not too bad, just a little. For now, 115 is my flat out swing. I'm not in shape for the indoor season. Okay. Got fitted for the Denali Blue 60 gram S-Flux or 6.0, 45.75 in playing length. I would think that you could do the exact same thing in a mini driver. Only don't make it 45.5. Make it whatever it is, 44 or 43 and 3/4 or whatever, and make that your driver. It might make it a degree more upright than your other driver is, just so to make up for the length. But I think that would be your driver that keeps you in play without sacrificing a lot of distance either. His mental, I can't get into 3 digits anymore. I hear you, bud. If I did something, I'd have to go to the hospital. Played an old Callaway Diablo Octane for years till the head finally caved in. It was counterbalanced, and he wants to try to replicate that feel. Okay, so if that was the case, that was probably what you were seeing is the counterbalance shaft. If this is a stock shaft, John, it's a counterbalance shaft, and that's not a lot of weight. It really isn't. If he wants to feel, probably one of the most easiest ways and probably least expensive ways is go get you about 2 or 3 pieces. I'd start with 2 at first. 2 pieces of that 1/4-inch lead tape that's about 3/4 the length of the grip, and put them in and tape them together like that at the underneath side. Pretty much about the same thing. I would start with that first before buying counterbalance shafts and things like that and putting in weights. That's just the easiest way to go about it to give that same concept. 40.5 million steps. Wahoo, dude. That's awesome. All right. You're welcome, buddy. Try Acra Steel. No. Oh, is he asking him? I don't know. Has Acra Steel made it up there? That's actually a pretty nice shaft, but it's probably going to feel a little bit more. The profile will be just a hair more stiff. Yep, 11. Yeah, that's the one that's got was it the feather as the logo, as part of their logo? Oh, Barry Carroll's on. He says, I've been a fan of Green River Wheated Bourbon, and it was recently a big winner in the New York competition. I saw that. They came away huge, right? They came away huge. Matter of fact, one of my glasses I was just drinking was a Green River Wheated or rye. And like those two, they've been doing very, very well. I'm kind of hoping to get. They got a single barrel wheated. I'm hoping to try and get into. I have not tested the Acro Steel. The Acro Steel is going to. It's basically a marriage of a regular of a Project X rifle and a DG shaft. And the upper end, I believe, is the DG shaft. The bottom end is the rifle. So it's going to have a much stronger profile with a little bit different feel. Is Titleist 9.7 time mini driver? Well, it could be. It could be. It just won't have hardly any of the tech for the rebound. You miss a 975D and just even the slightest little bit, and yeah, not good. Where the other ones are tremendously forgiving. That's really the difference. The other part is that most of these mini drivers are running between 10.5, 11, and then at the other one it'll be closer to 13. So you get it more up in the air. Rob is talking to Barry. KBS fits you best, maybe. Buffalo Trace Yum, unfortunately with the tariffs and all their bull, it's hard to find it up here now. Oh, up there. Okay. Yeah, that's yeah, I don't know. The political part of that just wants me to puke, but these folks got to get their acts together. I mean, it's just what it is. The Buffalo Trace, I got the green label and I got the red label. One day I'll find some other ones out there, out in the wild, but until then, I refuse to go to secondary markets. It's just not that important. But it's good stuff, though. Know anything about Makino, Japanese forged irons? No. I don't think I've ever heard of them. Makino. Nope, I haven't. Let's see if maybe I've seen a picture of them. Let's see. Let's see what we find. Makino Golf right there. All right, let's see. Definitely Japanese. Oh, that's a good looking club. A blade to be sure. All right. See if they got any others. They do. All right. Oh, okay. These look to be what I would call. They're good looking. They're good looking, John. I will say that. Now that one's but they all have that. What do they call them? They were called house irons. Is what they were called, house irons. Now I like the blade look. That looks pretty cool. Yeah. Now the blades look to be a little bit of an original, actually even more old school. They have an old Wilson staff from the '70s vibe. But the just real quick looking at them, John, is they're what we would call house iron designs, meaning that everybody's got one of these in their forging repertoire with that pocket cavity and the other one. They're beautiful looking irons to be sure, but the bladed ones are unique. They got that little fin at the bottom, which makes them probably get under the ball a little bit easier. But that's all. That's just first blush at them. Data and facts. You're absolutely true. Makino Fujimoto Golf. Okay, I've heard of Fujimoto, but I just looked them up, and that's what they've got. Those Akimo are good looking iron. They are those. They're really kind of cool. The different finishes they put on them is really where they're standing out at. Near Kyoei Golf, who makes the Vega. Yep, they're in that neck of the woods. Makino, that's true. Okay. Well, guys, we made it down to the very end. Krister was the last guy to comment with us, which is very cool. Again, I want you guys, if you guys are doing something on Halloween, be safe. Think of the breast cancer if you're so inclined. And, that's really what, is the important part here, is taking care of your loved ones. And, if for some reason I get something handed to me, I do have an iron build. I've got to put some 921s or 923s together for a gentleman golfer. So maybe we will talk about the shaft insertion and reaming the irons yet again in order to build this golfer some irons to send back before we leave. Again, guys, thank you so very much. Keep an eye out. Please like and subscribe here. And if you're so inclined, go to Pars and Pours and like and subscribe there. And as always, guys, let's see your scores go low.